Welcome, Hope Zvara, and today we're going to go through a modern Sun Salutation. And so when I think about Sun Salutations and I think about the way that we're practicing them in yoga, I get scared. And so mainly because we're moving the body in this very regimented, rigid way, and we're not really thinking about what the spine needs, how the core can influence the movement, and really the mechanics of the body for all over success. Let me demonstrate. Arms up, and then exhale, flat back fold, look forward, jump back, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, and then the leg flings itself up, and then we kind of try to get it forward, and then we're unstable and we're all up in a high lunge or warrior one, then we throw ourselves back and we're in a plank, and then we're in a chaturanga, and then we try to push ourselves back up because we're so tired, and we wing ourselves back into down dog, then the other leg swings up, and then we try to get it forward, and then we're struggling, and the list goes on, and we're back down again, then we move into down dog, and then we try to jump forward, and then come up with a flat back, and call it a day. Now obviously I'm exaggerating at how excessive this is, but you see my point. We're not really looking at in the Sun Salutation is how to get from point A to point B, and moreover, we're not looking at what muscles we should be using and cultivating to get from point A to point B. Now, Sun Salutations 5,000 years ago, when we think about this idea of moving the body and the modern body at that, we've evolved since then. Nonetheless, even in today's body, the way our bodies are put together in America is very different than people that live in India. We don't do as much squatting, as much walking without shoes. We don't have the same bone structure as they would, let's say, in the East. So when we think about moving and mechanics, I really want you to be open-minded this morning or this evening, however, what time it is, and really look at what I'm trying to offer you and see if maybe just a few things might fit your mold for your practice today. If we come into a mountain pose, okay, so I'll face you just for a second here, and I really want you to find awareness in the feet. Sometimes we just kind of stand and call it a day, and our feet are crooked and gnarly and doing all sorts of funny things. So I really want you to awaken by lifting the toes and spreading them wide, and then feeling the connection of the three arches on the foot. So we have the main arch, we have the arch behind the big toe and the second toe, and then we have that arch right behind the pinky toe. So it actually creates a triangle, and I want you to really feel like those 3 points are connecting down with the earth. That will create a really healthy reaction in the ankles, so you don't feel your ankles collapsing or over-rotating. You really just feel the legs nice and happy. The knees are forward, and the pelvis is in neutral. So when we think about pelvic or lumbar pelvic stability, this ability to keep the core stable has everything to do with keeping a healthy spine. So when I lift my arms up, if my belly goes forward and my pelvis goes forward, there's a lack of core and lumbar stability here. We really want to be able to keep that presence in the lower back. And I know many people don't associate it, but I've had plenty of students come in and have lower back issues because of their yoga practice and because of the lack of understanding as what they should be doing in this area of the body. So I really want to emphasize that today. So as we come into mountain pose, think about pulling out of your joints, really standing tall. Embark on rooting your feet, relax your shoulders, and keep the body lengthening upright. So making sure that you're not confusing lengthening with pushing the booty back and the chest forward. All we're doing is keeping the hip flexors short and tight and the back muscles short and tight. I want you to feel some length there. So now allow the pelvis to lead in a back bend. And I see pictures all the time where it's this woman usually wrenching herself backwards and the lower back crick is so small. Imagine what that's doing to your vertebrae. Now just because you can do that now doesn't mean it will be healthy for you in 10, 20, 30 years. So allow the hips to lead to keep the lower back open, but also extending back in this way is a much more effective way to work the core than would be flexing forward. All right, so now root your feet, slight bend in the knees if necessary. Nothing should ever be locked. Bend your elbows versus swinging your arms like a lever. I want you to think about really plugging the shoulder into its socket. And for those of us with shoulder issues, this is going to make a really big difference. All right, inhale. Now exhale, bend your knees and fall forward towards the floor. Inhale, rooting your feet. I'm just going to step back here. Rooting your feet. Pelvic floor engages, deep transversus engages. Lift through the belly, roll forward. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, bend the knees, drop down, root your hands, inhale. Now imagine as though you're leaning forward, like you're going to lift yourself up to do a handstand. Make sure when you're doing that you're not flaring your elbows out wide and really barreling into the chest muscles. Try to keep the elbows more forward and slightly bent. So inhale, with the elbows bent, lean onto the hands, lift up like I'm pulling you like a coat rack here or with a hook above you, and jump the feet back into plank position. Now same thing again in plank. Folds of the elbows forward to keep the chest broad and open. So we're not so much in these muscles and we're more in these muscles. Engage the legs together and keep the head from sinking. So pelvic floor engages again. We're not sucking the belly in as much as we're feeling that pelvic floor contract, and transversus and rectus push up against gravity. So inhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Inhale, breathe in. Now press forward with your toes. Draw the shoulders back. Your knees are there if you need them. Down slow. Keep your shoulders sliding back. I feel like I'm pushing up with my core as I lower down. Hold it, inhale. Exhale, lower to the floor. I'm just going to move my blocks here. Now unroll the toes. Press your palms down and pull back. Root your pubis bone on the inhale. Exhale, I feel the deep core contraction. Lift me up. So it's like I have a string on my lower back. The head falls forward. Keep the elbows in. Draw up through the core. Now drop your shoulders and the head and neck extend. If you're feeling your feet lift, you know that you're using your glutes too much. Inhale, press down through the palms and pull back, heart forward. Exhale, draw up through the core and roll yourself back down. Roll the toes under. Inhale. Now if you need to, use your knees. If not, really draw up through the belly. Exhale, moving, lift through the belly, roll into downward facing dog. Readjust the feet, inhale through the nose, spread the fingertips. If you need to, a little walk the dog is great. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now lifting the right leg, so I'm going to do opposite. Bend your right knee first to help put the hip into its socket, and press the heel back, flexing the foot. Keep the hips square. So really important to work with a squared hip. This is going to be really important for the SI joint, but also we get much more of a focus on that bottom calf and hamstring and outer hip. Now the more I lift the leg without peekabooing my hip open, the more I'm going to feel that lower glute muscle. Pressing evenly through the arms, keep the rib cage lifted. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Now you can take 3, 4, 5, 10 breaths here. Lift high to the ball of the base foot. Tuck the knee in. Now pull up through the lower back. And if you need to, lift your right hand to step the foot forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Engage your inner thighs high to the ball of the base foot. We're lifting again through that lower back string. Lift through the deep belly. My core lifts me up. Elbows bend and comb through the hair. Extend the arms up into high lunge. Now take that moment to tweak the lower body. My hips are uneven and not squared due to restriction and lack of strength and stability. So I'm going to restructure my hips, pulling back on the hip of the front leg without straightening the knee, and moving forward with the hip of the back leg. Neutral pelvis with the front corners of the wall here. Inhale as I extend my arms, keep the rib cage down. Now I reach arms and back leg. Inhale, no gripping with the toes, arms rotate in. Exhale, I'm contracting and contracting. Nice. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Inhale, breathe in, reach. Now bend your elbows, core is stable. Fall towards the floor. Pick your hips up to help release the leg back. Now, for the sake of movement, we'll just move right into down dog. Lift through the core. Bend your knees if you need to, and move into downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose, making sure that you're not just waiting in down dog. The stronger we get, the easier down dog becomes a resting pose, so really pay attention to that. All right, now the right leg is strong. Extend the left leg back. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, keep the hips square. Inhale, top leg is flexed and active. Exhale, breathe. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, high to the ball of the base foot. Knee comes in. Lift through your back body, really tucking your core. Pick up the left palm if you need to set the foot down. Now inhale, lengthen your spine out. High to the ball of the back foot. Exhale, lift and extend your body, squaring the hips and leveling the pelvis. Take that extra second for yourself. Inhale, the arms rotate from the arm or the shoulder socket, not from the wrist and elbow. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, bend your elbows, hands to the floor. Pick up before you set the leg back. Let's go right into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now bend your elbows, bend your knees. Draw up through the deep core. Inhaling through the nose. Now exhale, breathe out and really contract the core, bending the knees, jumping up, bringing the feet overhead. Notice how my hips come down towards my heels as I catch myself when I fall. So if you've done some sort of down dog jumping and you look more like this, or a lot of spanking on the floor, you know that you're just using your upper shoulders and upper body rather than really allowing the core to float you. So lots of length and space. Bend your elbows. Take your time for this. Inhale. Exhale, contract. Legs float up and come back down again. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale. Legs come up and back down again. So it's a little bit less effort-filled, meaning pushing or forcing. One more time. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, contract. Up and then forward. Probably not my best one, but inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale. Bend your knees, contract your core, roll yourself up, hips glide forward. It's this unraveling. So my hips glide forward as my arms extend back. Exhale, hands to prayer. Awesome. So the rolling up technique that for many of us we've kind of maybe as we've practiced felt like, oh, that's so beginner level, but we want to go from rolling up, just kind of using my spine and using whatever muscles are available, to really rolling up and feeling very much the internal core roll me up accordion style. Now as you become more comfortable, you can do something what I call core pump. So when we move up and down in a sun sail, we can use this idea of using the core much like a trampoline or a springboard. So I'll do that now in this variation and we'll roll through a sun sail together. All right, knees kindly bent, pelvis is in neutral. Inhale, exhale, fall. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, contract the pelvic floor, lift up through the deep core, roll your spine out, look forward. Inhale once you're at the peak. Exhale, bow down, palms press, lift your hips. Inhale. Exhale, jump back, plank position. Use your toes. Inhale, push forward, no sinking in the body. Exhale, I'm lifting up as I lower down. Hold it, inhale, resist gravity. Exhale to the floor and roll the toes, lengthen. Inhale, pubis bone roots. Exhale, roll up using your transversa, shoulders drop, long neck. Inhale when you're at the top, inflate your lungs. Exhale, roll back down. Roll the toes under, inhale, breathe in. Exhale, contract up through the core walls. Lift yourself up, move through plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises, square the hips. Exhale. Inhale, high to the ball of the base foot. Knee pulls in, roll through the spine, and down, runner's lunge. Inhale, hold, square the hips, engage the thighs. Exhale, roll yourself up. Arms extend overhead. Inhale, level and square the hips. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, anchor the shoulders. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, falling down to the floor. Inhale, pick up the hips. Starting to bring weight off that front foot. Exhale, step back, plank position. Let's move through a nice little chaturanga again. Inhale, forward. Exhale, contract, lower down slow. Inhale, root the pubis bone. Exhale, lift through the deep core. Drop your shoulders, push down through your arms, and pull back. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower down. Roll the toes under, inhale. Exhale, pick up through the core. Lift through the hips. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises, square the hips. Keep the weight even on the shoulders. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, high to the ball of the base foot. Draw the knee in, lift through the spine. Feel free to lift your left hand. Runner's lunge. Inhale, lots of length. Exhale, ground through your feet, lift through your core. Arms extend the last second. Nice, 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Feel free to be here if you need to. Inhale. And now exhale, contract as you lower. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, right into downward facing dog. Nice job. Inhale, breathe in, bend your elbows. Exhale, breathe out, pelvic floor contracts. Feet jump up. Nice. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And forward. Nice job. Inhale. Exhale. Contract and roll your body out to look forward. Inhale. Exhale. Lower down. Inhale. Now with your knees bent, imagine as though you're bouncing on a green ball. So I'm contracting, bouncing on a milli ball, using my core to resist the ball. That's going to be core pump. So 1, 2, 3, your core springs you up, rolling the hips forward, arms up and back. Exhale, hands to prayer. Whew. So what you're finding when you're utilizing your core and you're really starting to work that digestive fire, that Agni, is you don't need speed to bring heat and sweat into the body. You really want to cultivate those deepest core muscles, which is going to be the pelvic floor. It's going to be that transverse abdominal, that deepest hoop core muscle. We'll be using erectors, back muscles. We'll be using obliques. Rather than just using chest and arms, thighs and glutes. And for many of us, even in yoga, that's how we're muscling through the asanas. So when you think about a sun salutation, think about being consistent and being precise, rather than just being fast and kind of flying all over the place with arms and legs, which I know in the past I've been guilty of. I felt like there was a fluidity, but I didn't really know what I was using and how I was getting from point A to point B. And so the next time you practice Sun Sal, just take a few aspects of what we just talked about today into your practice and see what happens. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, take one step forward into a new day. Namaste.